Our summary begins today with our girl, So-rin, who was doing a dance audition to join a very famous idol team, and she appeared professional, and the committee was impressed by her performance. At that exact same time, there was a concert for this famous idol named Louis, and the news talked about nothing but him. He was a trend in Korea, breaking the world. On a new day, we see So-rin's father in the restaurant, calling out to her, So-rin, So-rin, come on daughter, wake up. But her mother hit him and told him, enough with the headache, it is still morning. We go together to So-rin's room, which was literally full of Louis's photos and albums. This was because she was one of his biggest fans. Our heroine woke up in full chicness and elegance and went to meet her childhood friend so they could go to school together, and his name was Yu. So-rin's father went out to speak with him, and it showed how much he loved him. He said goodbye to both of them and told his wife, believe me, I wish that this boy would marry So-rin, but in the future, not now. So-rin entered the class and found her classmates watching Louis' concert, who drove them crazy with his beauty. From their conversation, we learned that Louis was coming to Korea today, and for this reason, the parents called the school to cancel any leave or for girls to leave early today at all. But So-rin told them she had made a very solid plan to leave school early. At this time, the batch's nerd woke up and told them, enough noise, you gave us a headache with your Louis. By the way, dear viewer, this nerd was So-rin and Yu's close friend, and she had a percentage of predicting the future. She told them that in 5 years, this Louis would not be a star at all. She said his level would decrease a lot, and mark her words. In the gym class, the fun trio appeared, making a plan and saying to each other, everything past is rumors. So-rin, Yu, and the nerd are siblings. Then they went to the playground with the rest of their classmates. So-rin looked at Yu and told him, hit the ball at my head, come on. But Yu had a tender heart. He had fallen in love with her from the 27th floor and could not bear to hurt So-rin, who wanted to sneak out of school by any means to meet Louis, who was coming to Korea. As for So-rin, she was at her limit and told him, God, destroy your house. You will ruin the plan. The nerd got tired of both of them and said, I have this hit, guys. And she kicked the ball at So-rin's head, who fell to the ground. According to the plan, Yu went to her, carried her quickly, and ran on the basis that he would take her to the hospital. After that, we saw So-rin at the airport making a video, saying she was waiting for Louis impatiently. I am so happy because finally I will see him. But suddenly, as she turned, she bumped into a disguised young man, and her phone fell and broke. With all rudeness, he told her sorry, left her, and walked away. But she stood up quickly because Louis had arrived, and the press and girls gathered around him quickly. The shock here, dear viewer, was when they learned this was not Louis at all, and it was an ambush set up for them. The real Louis appeared outside where cars were waiting for him, and he was the young man who bumped into So-rin and broke her phone. Yes, the one who spoke rudely. After a while, his manager woke him up in the car and gave him the file containing all the concerts they would do in Korea. It showed how much he controlled him and his decisions. As for the press and social media, there was no talk about anything other than Louis, and that there would be a raffle in his albums, meaning they put 100 tickets in his albums for 100 people to meet Louis personally, depending on your luck, my friend. Of course, everyone started running and buying Louis' albums in hopes they would win and meet him. Our girl So-rin naturally would not miss something like this. She appeared in the bookstore with Yu and the nerd, and each of them bought an album. The nerd began to scratch the ticket, but unfortunately, it turned out empty. Of course, So-rin started to get tense from this moment and told them, make way, like this, guys. And she took out a large bag. She had bought 50 albums, the capable girl. They started to open the second album, but all of them, dear viewer, were empty, and there was nothing left but one album only. Finally, So-rin won the one that was on her happiness list. After that, the turn came to Yu to open his album, and the lucky boy won. So-rin was very annoyed. I buy 50 albums and you buy one and win? Anyway, let us go together to Louis, who was searching on his phone for good places in Korea to visit. But when his manager arrived, he prevented him from going out because he was afraid for him from the fans. But did Mr. Louis stay quiet? Never. He tricked the guards and was able to go out, and Belter came, who was his right-hand man, and he kept looking for him and did not find him, and his manager got annoyed while telling him, take the men and look for him. As for Louis, he had actually taken a taxi and got off in the same street where So-rin's house and restaurant were, and she was at that time delivering food orders. As for Walter and the men, they were able to reach Louis. As soon as he saw them, he ran and kept evading them, and suddenly So-rin appeared with her bicycle and crashed into him by mistake, and both fell to the ground. She was not believing it and said, is it possible this is Louis? But she came to her senses quickly and said, no, surely not. What brought the famous Louis to a beggar like this? As soon as Louis saw the men coming at him, he rode the bicycle with So-rin, and they kept escaping all night from them until they were able to finally succeed in escaping. So-rin Rin yelled at Louis, so he told her again just like that, with all rudeness, "Sorry." At that time, she knew that this was the same young man she met at the airport, so she said to him, "No, buddy, you are targeting me. Once you break my phone, once you drop me and steal my bicycle. By the way, this is not manly. Take off the glasses and the cap so I can know who you are." Just as the girl was touching him, he got angry and screamed, "Not the glasses, not the glasses." Anyway, Louis, from how hungry he was, his stomach made a sound, so Rin told him, "A thief and also hungry sins without a goal." She had with her the last food order from their famous burger, and Louis kept eating while enjoying every bite of it, as if he was making an ad. As for Rin, she got up and took her bicycle and told him, "I wish we never meet again, even by coincidence." Louis got very annoyed and got close to her and said, "Do you not know who I am, or what?" He tried to hint to her that he was actually Louis, but she did not believe it. In the end, he said to her, "Can I borrow some money just to get home? I swear to you, I will return it." This was because his manager refused to give him money. She told him, "I knew it. You are not Louis at all." She said to him, "By the way, I actually owe money to people because I bought 50 albums of Louis, but never mind, I will not continue. Anyway, take this money and help yourself." The two sat together, and Louis asked her, "What makes you obsessed with this Louis anyway?" He let her know that Louis was trapped and like a toy in his manager's hands, to the point that he had no personality anymore. So Rin hit him because this talk did not suit her mood, and she told him, "Do not dare mention Louis again. I am warning you." She let him know that she learned dancing specifically and also applied to a big agency so she could reach Louis and be with him. She got up and did some acrobatic moves for him from Louis' last dance, but he told her, "You have a few mistakes." Since he was actually the real Louis, he danced with her and taught her the right moves. In the end, Louis dropped her off, and Rin thanked him because he taught her the dance, and she gave him also a pin with Louis' name written on it as a gift. She let him know that she won a ticket to meet Louis, and tomorrow she would go to the event and finally see him. They said their goodbyes like that. On the very next day, Louis woke up for filming and to meet the 100 people who won. As for Rin and the nerd, they were looking at you, who every little while had a girl, bring him a gift and admire him and his smile. But Rin went to him and insisted that they must go to Louis' event together, but you refused. This was because he would be the only boy among 99 girls. So Rin got upset with him and told him, "Go alone then and find other friends." But he could not bear their sadness, so he ran after them. We saw them in the office while they, poor thing, were trying on him the gifts that they would present to Louis at night. Suddenly, a girl came and told them she had been watching them since they were buying gifts, and she offered you to join the agency she worked for and become an idol because he was very handsome. She left him her card and walked away. Of course, our boy Yu was not into singing or dancing at all, and he refused strongly. But Rin and the nerd told him, "We are not leaving you alone. Come with us. You must sing so we can see how your voice is." They actually took him and made him sing, and his voice turned out not bad at all. In the end, Yu was dropping Rin off, and she told him, "By the way, your voice is good, and I dance well, and I know how to film too. We will do great work together. Anyway, I am not planning to enter university. Think about this idol thing and let me know." Yu returned home and got up to play videos of Louis and kept imitating his moves. Apparently, he started to be convinced by Rin's words. Then came the day of Louis's signing event for the fans who won. Rin met Yu, who was shocked by her beauty, and he took her on the back of his bicycle. As for Louis, he had Rin's pin to confirm to her that he was actually the one with her. At the traffic light, Rin was nagging Yu to go to the agency and audition, and she promised him that if he succeeded, she would grant him anything he asked for, whatever it was. When the traffic light turned green and they moved, unfortunately, they had an accident. A large truck crashed into them, and they fell to the ground and got injured. We saw Yu in the hospital, and we learned that Rin's condition was critical. As for Yu, his injury was minor. Rin's family collapsed over their daughter, who was in surgery and in critical condition. As for Louis, he was at the event for the fans who won. We saw the doctor who told Rin's family that she passed the critical stage, but unfortunately she suffered damage to her ears, and this would make her lose her hearing permanent. The conclusion of all this was that Rin was forbidden from dancing again or doing any effort, and thus her dream was lost. For this reason, the next day, Yu immediately went to the agency, and there he applied to be an idol to achieve Rin's dream through him and compensate her. He began to work hard and train to reach what he wanted until he was actually able to do so. He became a famous idol and formed a band, and all newspapers and press were talking about him. All this happened over about 5 years. Here Rin appeared, who was working in Yu's agency, and we learned that she was in charge of filming and producing the band's videos. From her exhaustion, she was falling asleep, but Yu came and woke her up and took her to the band's meeting. We saw the nerd who took off the glasses and was their manager because she was smart, of course. Anyway, from Rin's words, we learned that the band qualified for the finals and became one of the most famous bands in Korea as well. They were all happy with this success and were watching the video Rin made for them them before she posted it on social media. After that, we went to the auditions, and Masha appeared, who was the CEO of Yu's agency, and she was choosing a girl group for the agency. As for So-rin, she went to the doctor, and this was due to many sounds she heard in her ears, other than the pain she felt. This was, of course, due to the accident she was exposed to 5 years ago. When night came, we saw Masha, who was in a meeting with Yu, and she was suggesting to him a very strong idea, which was that he do a duet with Louis because he was breaking the world in America with his songs. She also let him know that she sent for him with a special contract. Yu went to train and remembered the accident that happened 5 years ago. At the same time, So-rin was sleeping and remembering her dream of dancing and how professional she was. Due to the worry she was in, she could not sleep and called the nerd to come to her, but she told her that she was in front of the airport waiting for someone specific and did not even know who he was. They kept talking together about if So-rin had not had an accident or if her ears were not hurt, she would have achieved her dream by now and become famous and been able to meet Louis, whom she was impressed by back then. But suddenly Louis appeared to the nerd, so she got startled and her phone fell. We knew that this was the guest she was waiting for. Louis went to meet Masha, who did not waste time and sent for him immediately for the duet that would be between him and Yu. It appeared from his words that he was an arrogant and haughty human, and even the agency did not please him. They sat in the office until Yu arrived, who respectfully greeted Louis, who was arrogant and told him, "I have been waiting for you for 10 minutes. Do you not know that my time is gold, or what?" Louis kept provoking all of them and talking with utmost arrogance until Yu lost his temper and lunged at him. Louis got very scared, but Yu made him see the look of his teeth that were messed up from eating in the mirror. At that time, Masha and those with her could not hold themselves from laughing so much. This was because Yu embarrassed Louis greatly and took his right cleverly. As for the nerd, she ran to the agency and met So-rin and told her that Louis was in the place and that he would do a duet with Yu as well. As for Louis, he found So-rin's ID fell on the ground, so he called out to her and gave it to her, but he did not remember her at all. Yu arrived, who was very irritated by Louis and the arrogance he was in, and he gave him a piece of his mind, to the point that Louis went up to his room while annoyed and kept hitting the bed and cursing Yu. Let us leave all this and go. To the nerd, while she was getting coffee with So-rin, she was telling her, "Look, here's the heartthrob working with you in the same place." But So-rin did not care at all and said that this was teenage love and was just a crush. But we grew up now and became wise. As for Louis, he kept listening to Yu's songs on the net, and the surprise was that he was impressed by his voice. After that, Yu appeared with his band on TV, and they were being honored because they became the #1 band in Korea. They returned to the agency at the peak of their happiness with their success and took many pictures together. Let us go to Louis, who was looking in the mirror and saying, "Damn my coolness. What is this sweetness and tastiness? I swear to God I am super solid." But he did not find any beauty products from the brands he uses. So he sat with himself and wrote a list of all the things he wanted. The next day, he went to the agency to Masha, crossed his legs like this, and told her, "Get all the requests in this paper, please. All of this I want. Just do not be late on me." Quickly, he told her also, "Oh, I need a manager until Walter comes to me from America." So Masha sent for So-rin and told her she would be Louis's manager for a short period. Masha chose her because she was one of his biggest fans in the past, so surely she knew what he liked and hated. So-rin tried to let her know that this was in the past, but Masha was insistent on her opinion, so So-rin agreed and went to get the car for him, and he made her open the door for him. Damn this humility, really. When she got him to the hotel, he told her, "Join me upstairs." She found he had many clothes, and the shock was when he told her, "I tell you what, take pictures of me in all these clothes so I appear that I am a cool guy, more than I am actually cool, and keeping up with the latest fashion trends." So-rin kept taking picture after picture until she got tired and completely out of breath. She was on her way home, looking very tired, when she found Louis ringing her and telling her he was thirsty and wanted water. She let him know there were bottles in the fridge, but he told her, "I drink from a specific brand. I am a star, my daughter. I do not drink just anything." So she went to the only branch that sold this water, but it closed at the last moment. So-rin was confused, not knowing what to do. But suddenly Louis called her, and he was drinking normal water very normally. He did this just to confuse her. May God reckon with you, brother. At night, So-rin was with the nerd drinking juice to their limit, and So-rin was very irritated by Louis and the arrogance he was in. They decided to call Yu, who got very upset because they went out to party without him. They started to remember together their old slogan that everything past is rumors and we are 3 siblings. The next day, Masha held a meeting to choose 4 girls as a band for the agency, and she sent her manager, and he actually selected the 4. The last girl among them was named Gina, and she was So-rin's batchmate. She met her at the agency and congratulated her. Not only that, they also sat together and started remembering their old memories and such moves. After that, So-rin went to Louis, who do was an ultimate relaxation and doing a cucumber mask. He told her, "I am very hungry," so she kept choosing many foods for him, but not a single meal pleased him. After he confused her, he told her, "I am done. I am not hungry. Patience from you, O Lord." In the end, he told her, "Choose with me. I will attend the press conference in an hour in a suit of what color?" Finally, they settled on the white color. During the meeting where the collaboration between Louis and Yu's agency would happen, news came to the press that Louis was evading taxes and that he also went bankrupt. The whole world turned against him, and Louis was shocked by the words being said. When he went outside, he found the tax agents waiting for him, and they arrested him. When they interrogated him, he told them it was impossible for him to evade taxes and that he earns a lot and can pay them all at once. But when he found he owed $27 million, he was shocked and told the employee, "Can't I pay them in installments?" But the man told him he had not paid for 3 years, buddy, and gave him a specific period. If he did not pay the money, he would be imprisoned. When he went outside, all the press gathered around him, but he did not reply to them and ignored them completely. As for Masha and those with her, they were wrong and surprised. Why did this news come at this time? Specifically, surely this was a conspiracy made against them and against Louis. She tasked her manager to let the lawyer know what the issue was. We go to Louis, who was trying to call Walter, his right arm, but his phone was off. Louis went back in memory to a week ago when he was with his manager, who wanted him to renew the contract, but Louis refused to renew it. This was because of the manager's provocative VAT controls. When Louis returned home, he called Walter and told him, "I terminated the contract with the manager, and I have no one but you to trust." We return to the present with Louis, who was forced to call his manager again to know about the tax issue. The shock was that Walter, with the power of attorney Louis made, transferred all his properties and money to his account, meaning Louis was left without a penny. When we return to the past again, we see Walter in the manager's office with a bag full of money in front of him, the price of his betrayal of Louis. It was the manager who did all this because Louis was arrogant towards him and decided not to renew the contract with him again, so he took revenge on him. In Masha's office, her assistant let her know that Louis was actually innocent and that Walter took all his money and fled with it. But he suspected that the manager was the one behind all this. They decided they had to find Walter by any means. Louis came to Masha's office and still had a bit of arrogance in him too, but Masha let him know she spent a lot on him since he arrived in Korea and that he had to listen to her in everything. And the first thing was that he had to go out to the press and apologize to them, but he refused to do that and went out while upset. So-rin went to Masha and learned what happened, and that also. Masha kicked him out of the hotel where he was living. When So-rin returned to her office, she got a call that Louis was in the street with his luggage. She took a taxi and decided to go to him. After that, Louis appeared in the market buying food, but unfortunately, he found out his visa did not have a penny, so he picked himself up and walked away. Everyone who saw him photographed him and shared his location too. So-rin, every time she went to him in a place, found he had left it. She could not reach him until Louis stood in the middle of a gathering listening to the news and demonstrations against him. But unfortunately, people recognized him, so he got very tense to the point he bumped into a taxi and fell to the ground, and he did not know where to escape. After a long time passed, So-rin finally found him, and she felt very sorry for him. She took him and treated him to food, but he was still arrogant. Since Louis had no one in Korea, neither stranger nor relative, she decided to take him with her to the restaurant and let her father and mother know that he would live with them in the storage room until he found a place. But her father appeared annoyed and walked away and left them. After that, So-rin took him and showed him his room, and of course, it did not please him, but he was forced to accept it. So-rin and her mother went out, and they let the landlord know that Louis was innocent and had no fault in what happened to him, and he must treat him well. The next day, So-rin woke up and told her mother, "Set breakfast for Louis when he wakes up," but her father told her he actually left early. So-rin got scared lest he harm himself or do something disastrous to himself. Louis appeared going to the agency, and Yu saw him and called Masha, and knew that she did not summon him at all and was looking for him. The shock was that Louis went up to the roof, and Yu looked at the elevator to know where he went. As for Louis, he was not intending to harm himself or anything. He was giving himself some power while on the highest peak. Suddenly, Yu arrived, ran to him, and pulled him down, thinking he would harm himself. Both fell to the ground. When they went down to the agency, Louis thanked Yu, and the surprise was that he extended his hand to him and told him, "Why don't we become friends?" They shook hands. So-rin and Masha were watching them, very happy with what was happening. Masha appeared with Louis in the office, and we learned that he agreed to issue a formal apology to the press, and he would appear in it himself. Masha apologized to him for her harsh words last time and told him to return to the hotel, but he refused and let her know he found a better place where he was comfortable and would not leave it. Louis went out to the press, apologized to them, and told them, "I am innocent, and very, very soon I will prove my words to you." The next day, we saw So-rin and Louis together in the house, and she told him, "Get up and earn your keep, man, and prepare food for us." She decided to give him a hard time, just like he used to confuse her in the past. Not only that, she also made him wash the dishes. Of course, in your view, she is a strong, savage, but long live the queen. Louis returned to his room holding his back, tired and in pain. Oh my. From so much exhaustion, he kept tossing left and right until the junk fell on him. Here he found photos of him and also Soren's old diaries, and he learned that she was one of his biggest fans 5 years ago. He also found a cutout of him in his actual height, so he became very full of himself. He decided to tease Soren. As soon as she found the cutout in her room, she ran to Louis and pushed the door and tried to enter to get her diaries, but Louis refused and kept reading the words she had written in it other than the poetry and poems. Soren told him, "I beg you, no scandals. This is teenagers talk," but he refused to. So she left and went to her room while she was furious and kept kicking in the bed like a snake. She called the nerd and told her, "Save me," and told her what happened. The nerd laughed a lot at her. The next day, they met at the agency, and she asked her, "Did you tell you that Louis is living with you?" Soren told her there was no time to tell him and that she was not hiding anything from him. Soren stood with you, deciding that she tell him, but unfortunately, the fans and press were outside, so you went out to them, and Soren postponed the talk for later. She went to the doctor to check on her ears. The surprise was that Soren during the past period did not feel any pain. The doctor let her know that surely something important happened in her life, and this made her improve a lot. As for you, he was listening to recordings and calling and sending many messages to Soren, but she was not replying. As for Soren and Louis, they were in the restaurant, and Soren told her parents, "Enough for you today. By God, no one will wash the dishes, except our heartthrob, our star Louis." Louis was like, "Oh God, what is this to me, Limby?" At that time, Louis found the burger he ate from 5 years ago, and it was the same taste. And he said, "Is it possible this is the girl I met back then?" As for you, he came running because he was worried about Soren, who was not answering. He got a shock when he saw Louis in the restaurant with Soren. He went to them and asked Louis, "What are you doing here?" So Soren took him outside to make him understand and let him know what the talk was about exactly. Louis was straining his ears and was dying to know what they were saying, to the point that he went upstairs to listen. In the end, he found no escape, so he went out to them, outside. Finally, everyone went to their place, but you was worried and tense. As for Louis, he kept reading Soren's diaries and confirmed she was the girl he met back then. The next day at breakfast, he was trying to tell her he was Louis, whom she gave money to back then, but he could not. At the agency, Gina was taking opinion on a dance of hers, but he was very focused with Soren and ran to her to carry the heavy equipment she had. When night came, the fun trio were in the car together, and Louis called Soren and told her, "I want to tell you something." She told him, "A little while, and I will be home." At that time, you got very irritated and told her, "What do you think if the three of us stay up together and bring back the old days? Why don't you come so we stay up at your house?" Of course, she agreed. When they went to the house, Soren's father welcomed you very much because he had loved him for a long time as we know, and he wished he would marry Soren. Throughout the gathering, he kept calling you and telling him, "You light up the place, my in-law, my daughter's husband." Did Louis stay quiet? Never. He called Soren's mother and told her, "Oh, mama," and the playground lit up. The playground lit up between you and Louis, and it seemed the evening would get sweet. When they met alone, Louis told him, "You are coming here acting sweet to let me know Soren's father loves you?" He replied to him, "You too, buddy, were acting sweet as well," and kept saying to the lady, "Oh, mama, oh, mama." Mama from where? Huh? After that, they returned to the gathering and decided to challenge each other in drinking juice. And no one was affected or got dizzy except the nerd, who went and grabbed Louis and told him, "Forgive me, I am the reason." She let him know that she knows how to predict the future a bit, and that 5 years ago, she predicted he would go bankrupt, and as we know, like that. But she did not mean it, really. As for Soren, she was sitting calmly with you, telling him, "You are decent and manly with everyone. Why Louis specifically? You are treating stubbornly like this. Enough with the circumstances he is in. Be nice like this." She let him know that here was the best place for him, far from the press's hassle, and that he should never worry about her. Soren went to Louis, and he let her know that the nerd fell asleep after she tortured him and gave him a hard time. She went to make coffee and gave it to you and asked him how he would go home. He told her he would wait for the nerd until she woke up from her sleep and she could take her time. Louis got very annoyed. Soren brought a blanket for you and told Louis, "Go to your room," but he snatched the blanket while telling them, "I will sleep here just to spite you, ha!" As for you, he went to wait in the car outside. After a while, Louis woke up and told him, "Come, I want you for a matter." They got in the car and you told him, "I want to find a solution for this stubbornness," while stepping on the brakes and driving at maximum speed. Louis did not understand why this madman was doing this. In the end, you stopped the car in front of his house and took Louis inside and let him see the house piece by piece. Finally, he brought a paper saying to him, "You stay here with me, but with the conditions written here." At that time, Louis told him, "What, Pasha? You are the one who wants me to come live with you," meaning I am the one to set my conditions conditions, not you at all. So you compromised. The important thing was that Louis would not be with So-rin in one house. Louis set many conditions that he uses anything in the house freely and has priority to use private studio. Not only that, he also told him, I will spend from your money as I want. Of course, you got annoyed, but not important, everything for the sake of the girl So-rin. After you agreed to all Louis' conditions, he told him, I was joking with you, and let him know he was very happy and comfortable in So-rin's house. He also told him, I know you love her very much, but she does not feel you. In the end, he told him, come on, just as you brought me here, come take me back. But you slept on the couch and told him, you are on your own, Pasha. Louis walked away and took a taxi and arrived to the nerd and So-rin, who paid the fare for him. Louis said to the nerd, you are sitting comfortably, huh? Louis the liar told So-rin, come let me tell you what I learned about you, and he was hiding from you. After that, So-rin discovered that Louis showered with his clothes on because he had no clothes at all other than what he had on. So she went to bring him a t-shirt from her father's. Of course, our son told her, what is this? Rotten t-shirt, and sat on the floor like a small child. So-rin knew Louis was arrogant and always loved whoever praised him, so she told him, by God, this t-shirt looks amazing on you. You are the one making it sweet, man. So the boy got full of himself and looked in the mirror and told her, believe me, it really looks amazing on me. The next day, So-rin went to work and met you and told him, Louis let me know everything. I did not know you were like that. Of course, you got tense and his heart stopped and told her, what did he tell you exactly? She let him know that he took Louis by force and dragged him in the street and made him see his house and kept humiliating him and showing off in front of his house. Of course, you laughed and told her, forget about him. He is a total liar. Do not believe him. As for Louis, he went to walk a little in the park and saw a small child sitting alone. So he asked him, what is wrong, my friend? Tell me. The boy told him, leave me alone, buddy. He told him that he was bored with the world and that there was a girl, his classmate, who loved him and admired him, but she decided to marry someone else. At that time, Louis wondered, who will she marry? The boy let him know that she started loving that boy, you, the new idol. Of course, Louis got very annoyed and said to him, you who? And what does she like in you anyway? He asked the child, do you know Louis? The boy said to him, sure, he is the star of the generation, man, and the icon of Korea. So Louis told him, I tell you what, take my heart. I do not want it. Believe me. He kept playing with him. Let us go together to So-rin, who was working and found her friend Lena calling her. So she went to her quickly. They had not seen each other since school days. From the conversation between them, we learned that Lena was working as a writer and an internet broadcaster for talented people, and she wanted beginners from So-rin's agency to apply to her program. The surprise was that she told So-rin, why do not you come apply with them? You were talented in dancing, and your voice was sweet too. So So-rin decided she would think about the matter. So-rin returned home while she could not stand herself, and she found Louis annoying her and playing the guitar for her. So she told him, oh brother, I am really not in the mood. When she went to sleep, her ears hurt again, and she heard a ringing sound in them. So she ran quickly to the laundromat, and Louis asked her, where are you going? But she did not answer him. When she arrived there, she was dizzy and was not able to put the coins to start the machine. She fell to the ground, but suddenly Louis arrived and put his hand on her ear and kept singing to her until she became better. As soon as a person entered, she covered Louis so no one would see him. On the way, he asked her about the reason for her ear injury, so she told him, look, do not ask about what does not concern you. The next day, Masha gathered the team and let them know that there was a drama coming up for them. But this time, they wanted the lead actor to be you. Of course, everyone was surprised because it was always Seo who was the lead because he was #1 in the team. As for So-rin, she was with the nerd outside telling her that she would make Louis apply to Lena's team and that she was also thinking of applying. Just then, you arrived to them and they learned that a drama role came to him, so he wanted to act out something for them, but they could not stand it and got up and left him. At that time, Seo and the girl Gina were watching them from afar. This was because Gina loved you and was annoyed by his relationship with So-rin. Also, Seo was very annoyed that you took the lead role from him. As for Louis, he was at home and recorded a voice clip and sent it to So-rin, but she did not reply to him, and he got very annoyed by that. Therefore, as soon as he sensed she returned home, he ran and sat on the sofa and acted like the tough guy. But So-rin changed her clothes and went out to sit with him. The boy was sitting as if the house was registered in his name. As for So-rin, she was wanting to convince him to apply with her friend Lena in the internet competition, and she did not know how to bring it up to him until you called her. As soon as Louis knew it was him, he kept laughing and being annoying to tease you, but So-rin took herself and went inside to talk in the room. Did our boy stay quiet? Never. He went and pressed his ear against her room door and learned that they wanted to go to the cinema together. Suddenly the power went out, and So-rin's father caught Louis in front of the room door. Of course, uncle, if I swore to you that I am innocent, you would not believe me. Anyway, the conversation passed, and Louis asked him, why do you love you so much? So-rin's father told him, because he is respectful and does not eavesdrop on people's doors. You know why now? Unlike some people. After that, he took So-rin's mother outside and asked her the reason So-rin goes to clean her ears. She let him know that she was in a car accident a few years ago and that her dream of being an idol singer was destroyed, but she was able to overcome all of this and forget. After that, So-rin sent a message to Louis to meet her outside if he was awake, but he ignored her message like she did in the morning. So she went to knock on his room and told him, "Open up and stop this childish play." They sat together and she told him to apply for Lena's competition, but with all arrogance, he refused and told her that this way he would be the one to win because people know his voice very well. So-rin got upset, but he took the paper and told her he agreed, but on the condition she does not go to the cinema with you. She let him know that they actually canceled the appointment because their third wheel was not free. He also told her she must take him out everywhere at her expense. Of course, So-rin agreed just to get it over with, and they went out to many places and spent a nice time together. In the end, they went to a very cool restaurant and ordered expensive food. After that, So-rin's phone rang while she was in the bathroom. Louis knew it was you, so he answered him to annoy him and let him know that he and So-rin were on a date, and he hung up in his face. Of course, you took his car and sent messages to So-rin to know her movements and come take her. She let him know she was in the park. So-rin was very tired and at her limit. Here, Louis decided to confess to So-rin and remind her of that day from 5 years ago. But unfortunately, So-rin fainted. We saw Louis in front of the hospital after he called an ambulance for her. You arrived and hit Louis and asked him, "What did you do to her?" He said, "I swear I did not even come near her." Here we noticed that someone was filming them while they were fighting with each other. The news reached Masha, who was staying up late with her friend. We learned that the boy who saw Louis at the laundromat shared his location on the internet at that time. At that moment, an unknown journalist came to the place immediately and started watching Louis while he was with So-rin. Anyway, Masha reached this journalist and brought him food and treated him nicely and gave him an envelope full of money in exchange for not publishing anything about the matter. He agreed, of course, and handed her the flash drive too. She sent to bring Louis and you to her office and forced you to take him to live with him in his apartment. Not only that, he would also write the song for him that he would participate with in Lena's competition. This was agreed upon. As for So-rin, she had returned home and became fine. Louis called her mother to check on her. As for you, of course, he called her father for the same reason. The next day, Masha brought So-rin to the office and learned that she had an accident a few years ago, and this was the reason that made her faint. So Masha told her, "You must take a leave to rest." But So-rin refused and let her know she was fine, meaning perfectly well. So Masha assigned So-rin to cover all movements of Louis and you in Lena's competition. So-rin took her equipment and went to Yu's house and saw the bruise on Louis and knew that Yu was the reason because he was afraid for her. Everyone was getting ready to record the videos. Of course, Louis was not cooperative because he wanted to record in his same old way. Yu and everyone were trying to convince him to record differently, but he refused and sulked like a small child and left them and went outside. He heard the sound of their laughter, so he decided to call his friend as well, who was the small boy he saw in the park. He sent him the music he recorded, but the boy was, mashallah, smart and told him that this was exactly like Louis's music, or let him know that Louis for a long time had been repeating the same music in all songs, and that he must change a little and try something new. Anyway, at night, Louis was searching for new music in Yu's files and liked a clip that was quite nice. When Yu went down to work, Louis startled him and told him, "I am convinced by your words, and I will change my singing style." They went to check the song he chose. The next day, So-rin and everyone gathered, and this time they were targeting Yu, and everyone was on him because all his song lyrics were considered in the same rhythm. Yu got annoyed and took himself and went out to the same place Louis was yesterday. But the nerd went out to him and comforted him with a couple of words. This made him at night remember all his memories with So-rin, and he began to create and bring out the artist inside him. When Louis woke up in the morning, he found him having messed up the place with papers, and he found the song he wrote and liked it very much and told him, "That is the way, Wadia." After that, they all went to Lena's audition, who could not believe that this was Louis and was at the peak of her happiness. Anyway, contestants came up and sang one after another until the turn came to Louis. His song was extremely cool to the point that the next day, the news and press talked about nothing but the song and its success that broke the world. Let us go to Seo, who went to Masha's office and was surprised there by the presence of the journalist, who welcomed him and gave him his card too. As for Masha, as soon as she saw the journalist, she got annoyed and told him there was no appointment between them and she had work. She brought Seo a script for a series on the net, but he told her that Yu refused the historical series and that he would like to do the role. But Masha told him, unfortunately, someone else took this role. Seo got annoyed and threw the script papers in the trash. After that, Yu and Louis arrived, and with them So-rin. They agreed to do the duet they wanted to do before this tax issue. But So-rin told Masha that Yu and Louis must know each other more and suggested to them that they go to a rural place and film Yu and Louis' diaries there. Masha agreed strongly too. Actually, they packed their cars and equipment and went to the place there. She was trying to make Yu and Louis understand what they would do, but they were not cooperative and were biting at each other, both of them. But So-rin spoke to them that they must calm down a little so the work comes out right. They listened to the words, and Yu began filming Louis and praising his beauty and handsomeness. After that, they agreed to go out, and whoever wins among them, the other will fulfill his requests. Yu ran, and behind him was So-rin with the camera. As for Louis, behind him was another one from the team. Yu forgot the challenge and kept chatting with So-rin. As for Louis, he was shocked that So-rin and Yu were together actually, so he took himself and ran there. A little later, Yu arrived, and Louis let him know that he was the one who won. Come on, buddy, give me a massage for my back. Huh, and my legs too, please. Of course, all this was being filmed. He also told him, go make coffee and distribute to the whole team. He actually did so with all love, and the two began to understand each other. As for So-rin, she was talking to the nerd while nervous, and this was because the professional photographer was late. After a while, a strange car came, and we learned that this was the photographer, who was very handsome, and all the girls in the location were dying for him. The photographer apologized and told them he was late because the market he buys from was attacked by some thieves. Of course, no one believed him and told him, well, find something better than this and say it. After that, Louis and Yu began to cook, and everyone was filming them until night fell on them, and the whole team was dying of hunger. The end of all this was that the food turned out very bad and very salty, and there was no time for them to order delivery. So the photographer told them he knew how to cook, and he actually stood cutting vegetables like the best chef. Oh, of course, the girls, I cannot even tell you. He made very beautiful and delicious food. But suddenly, a video reached all of them about the photographer, and it turned out true that he was in the market and there were thieves, and he was the one who confronted them and saved the supermarket owner. Immediately, So-rin apologized him because she did not believe him in the morning when he told her the reason for his delay. After that, he took the camera and showed her the photos he took, and among them was a photo of her too. So-rin kept looking at it at night and was impressed by the photographer's handsomeness, his coolness in cooking, and self-defense. The photographer finished his work and was saying goodbye to So-rin after they took each other's numbers. Louis and Yu were dying of jealousy and watching them from afar. The photographer was actually noticing and told her, take care, that boy Yu loves you, and it shows very much in his eyes. The next day, the nerd told her that Louis looked like he liked her. She told her, and as for you, who has been dying for me since high school days, are you blind, meaning you do not see? So-rin took the shock then. As for Yu, he was waking Louis up to go to the gym with him. After he pretended to be tired, Yu left him and walked away. While in the car, he discovered that So-rin did not reply to a single message he sent her, and he was worried about her. As for Louis, he was surprised that a fan was sleeping next to him on the bed, but she came for Yu, not him, and she was able to escape in a taxi quickly. The camera panned to the four girls while they were training. Suddenly, Gina's legs hurt, and we learned from their words that she was sick actually, and she went to the doctor behind Masha's back. As for So-rin, she contacted the nerd quickly and told her, save me. Masha invited me at night to a restaurant, and I do not know what she wants. May God protect us. Our nerd went to meet Yu, who was complaining to her that So-rin was not replying to his messages. So she told him, So-rin knew that you love her, and for this reason, she became shy around you a little bit. So-rin went to meet Masha, who asked her, why did you give up on your dream back then? This made us go back in a flashback to when Masha was with her friend and was taking her opinion on the dancing of a girl from the band. Her friend let her know that there was one of them who was not good at all because she always made mistakes and was nervous. She also let her know that 5 years ago, a girl applied and she gave her the full mark, but she disappeared suddenly. Of course, she meant So-rin, whom Masha was showing her video to. She asked her to think about the issue of returning to singing and dancing again. Let us go together to Yu, who was in his car remembering all his past memories with So-rin, and he began training himself on the words he would say to her, and he would let her know he liked her from a long time ago. As soon as So-rin arrived, she interrupted his speech and told him what happened with Masha, but he told her, no, because of your illness. I am afraid for you, really. But she welcomed the idea and said she would try. Maybe she would succeed and achieve her dream. So-rin returned home while upset, and the ringing in her ear returned again. She stood in the street, and Louis saw her. She told him about her wanting to achieve her dream again. He told her, you advised me back then, and now I will advise you. He took out for her the pin with his name that she gave to him 5 years years ago. They talked together, and she knew that he was Louis, and she blamed him because he did not tell her early on. As for him, he supported her strongly to return to her dream again. He got up and trained her like old times. The next day, Masha called Gina and let her know she was chosen to be the main dancer in Louis and Yu's opening show. Of course, Gina was very happy. When she went out, she called So-rin and told her she was chosen for a very important thing, but refused to tell her what. She ran to Yu to tell him. We saw them sitting together. At that time, Gina decided to confess her love to him, but he shocked her and told her he did not love her and that he liked another girl. He left her and walked away and met So-rin, whom he told, "Come, I want to speak with you about a matter." She let him know that she decided to return to dancing and singing, and that today was her first training day, and he must support her and remember his promise to her back then that he would be always her back and support. So-rin went to the training hall and began to train until Gina arrived to her, and jealousy appeared on her. She asked her, "What are you doing here?" So-rin replied that she was returning to train again to achieve her dream, and God willing, she would reach it, and that Masha was the one who encouraged her herself to do this. The girl Gina at that time was dying of shock. She started taking her medication and pushing herself hard in training until she fell and her legs were injured more. As for Yu's team, they were gathered and were very upset that Yu drifted away from them a little and that the press had nothing to say except about him, as if he was the only star. The band was fighting with each other verbally, and Seo got up and hit one of them until Yu arrived and broke up the fight between them. But no, one told him what the reason for the fight was. He returned home and talked to Louis about the subject, and he was aware that the band was upset because they were no longer famous, and Yu was the one taking all the good stuff for himself. Let us go to Gina, who was in the hospital, and her leg was in a cast. For this reason, Masha held a meeting and replaced Gina with So-rin, who would be with the new girl group. As for the boy Seo, he went to Gina and let her know what happened and told her, "Tell me what is between you and So-rin, and I will take revenge for you." As for the journalist, he found Masha calling him, and she told him, "Remember when I promised you that I would give you exclusive news in exchange for the flash drive? Check your email, man, and count me fulfilling my promise." At that time, the journalist opened the mail and found all bank accounts belonging to the manager of Louis, and also evidence that Louis was innocent and that the manager was the one who plotted the tax evasion issue for him. Immediately, the journalist did not waste time and published everything on social media and let people know that Louis was wronged and revealed his innocence. After that, we saw Louis visiting his manager after he was arrested. Louis went out and all. The press gathered around him after they knew he was innocent. The news had nothing to talk about other than the innocent Louis who went to have lunch at the same restaurant. So-rin invited him to when he was hungry, and the whole world was against him. When he finished, he sent a message to So-rin to know where she was, because he was coming to visit her family and thank them for what they did for him. Suddenly, a strange girl appeared walking behind So-rin and calling out to her, and she had a bottle of acid and was just spraying it on her when Louis came with his back and shielded So-rin. Everyone ran to the hospital, and they found So-rin fine and perfectly well too, but Louis was the one injured in his back. We go together to Gina, who was talking to So and telling him, "I did not know the matter would reach this point." At this time, the police were investigating the girl who sprayed the acid, and she was the same one Louis found in the bed. We learned she was one of Yu's biggest fans actually, and when she knew he loved So-rin, she decided to take revenge and kill her. Yu and So-rin went to meet Masha, who was showing them photos of them together from high school days, and that someone posted them and deleted them immediately. This makes us go back in a flashback a little. Seo was in the hospital with Gina, and he was the one who gave her the photos to give to the journalist to destroy Yu's reputation among the fans. But Gina, out of her stupidity, was the one who posted the photos. When she found a lot of interaction on them, she deleted the post immediately. But that crazy girl had seen them. Masha went to her and asked her, "Why did you do that?" She let her know she loved Yu for a long time, but he was always interested in So-rin. So-rin came to Gina and told her, "No matter how much I hated someone, I would never publish photos of him and hurt him and destroy his reputation. As for Yu, he was exactly like her brother, and it was impossible for there to be anything between them at all. Let us go to So-rin's father, who finally softened towards Louis and went to the hospital to him. He brought him food and thanked him a lot because he protected his daughter and saved her life. After that, we saw Masha with her assistant, and we learned she would not do the duet album for Yu and Louis, and she canceled this collaboration decision. She had hurt many people, and she decided to submit her resignation as well. Let us go together to Yu, who took So-rin and went to Louis, who told them, "I will speak to you," a couple of words. He said that neither of them should feel guilty because of what happened to him, and he told Yu that what passed died, and let bygones be bygones. "Since I am older than you, you must call me big brother, respect me, and listen to my words." Yu told him, "Enough, man, I got goosebumps. Tears will flow from my eyes. They kept joking with each other. Yu went to meet his band, having had Masha call and gather them. He kept apologizing to them because he was preoccupied from them due to his personal interests. The band forgave him and apologized to him for what they did. They all kept joking with each other like old times. As for our son Louis, he went to Walter in prison and told him, when you needed money to do a surgery for your mother, he let him know that he needed a rare blood type and that his manager obliged and got it for him, but this was not a justification for his betrayal of him. Walter apologized to Louis, who told him, on the contrary, your betrayal woke me up and also made me get to know good-hearted people and know the meaning of family. He left him and walked away. Let us go to Gina, who was at Masha's apologizing to her for what she did. Masha let her know that she was the one sorry because she played with everyone's feelings without realizing it. She told her, if I remain the CEO, I will wait for you when you are treated and return to the band again. Gina went to Sorin, and the two reproached each other and made up and became friends again. When night came, Masha gathered the three to know if they would collaborate from their hearts or not. Everyone agreed on the collaboration. Yu told her that he would not take any step unless his team was with him. Sorin told her, I will not take Gina's place in the band, but I will train and enter the singing competition and achieve my dream. After a long time passed, we saw the four girls in their first show, and Gina was among them because she was healed already. As for Louis and Yu, they were training together in the middle of Yu's band after they became brothers and loved ones. Our daughter Sorin was training on singing and focused very much on what she was doing until the result day came and everyone was waiting. But unfortunately, she did not qualify for the finals, but she got a call that due to Louis' revenues, she was chosen as a fourth member. Everyone was happy for her. The day of the final show came, and Sorin went up and sang with a voice, very strong, but her ears hurt her, and she heard a buzzing sound. But immediately Yu appeared and sang with her and covered Fak for her. Not only that, Louis also sang, and they did the best work on stage, and everyone was happy and interacting with them. We learned that the love of the three for each other is a love of friendship and brotherhood. Here our series ends. I hope you liked it, and just like that, goodbye.